Thank you so much for joining us for another in our series, A Story to Tell. Today we have with us Mr. Neville Valentine Richards. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Neville Valentine Richards, and he'll be sharing his story with us. In this initial section of the interview, we're just going to ask him some icebreaker questions to allow you, our viewers, to get to know him a little better. All right, so Sir Neville, which do you prefer, individual sports or team sports?
Both.
Both. All right. Which do you prefer, the Olympics or World Cup?
Both.
Both. All right, we're just gonna make it get one more with both. You can't say both for the rest of them. You have to go choose one. Which do you prefer, Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi?
I suppose I'll go for Messi,
Messi.
if that were the only choices, but I didn't hear you say Ronaldinho. But
No,
I'll
no, we'll narrow it down.
Okay.
Reading a book or watching a movie?
Reading the book is me.
All right. Early mornings or late nights?
Both.
Seems like you love to choose both sides of the fence. All
I
right.
suppose it's unusual. A lot of people, I have a lot of esteem for early morning. I've been an athlete.
Yes.
4:45, I'm out of my bed, running on the sun in the past 4 miles and real fast. So you can come back in time. In the evenings, I had to really make time for schoolwork, so I have to beat it in the night to make sure I'm not lagging behind.
Okay, so it's really both for real.
It's an appreciation of what opportunities that is offered.
Which do you prefer, texting or calling?
Call.
All right. Which do you prefer, a desktop computer or a laptop?
I suppose I'll go for a desktop maybe for me.
Desktop.
Yes.
All right. Online shopping or in-store shopping?
Well, I'm experiencing more indoor shopping at the moment.
Okay.
Rather than a lot of online.
All right. A sweet snack or a savory snack? The salty one.
Neither.
Neither. Pizza or pasta?
Neither.
Neither.
As formerly a vegetarian, so that's a background.
Yeah.
So I'm not really leaning to either
of those unhealthy.
Right.
All right.
If you said like fruits like pineapple, like papaya, you speak in my language.
All right.
Or an apple or a grape.
We soon start speaking your language. Listen to this. This is flavor now. Chocolate flavor or a vanilla flavor?
Chocolate.
Chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
All right. Video games or board games? I think I know the answer for this one.
It will be board games. I'm a chess man, I'm a draft man, and a Scrabble man, so to speak.
Which do you prefer, comedy or drama movies?
I can work with both. I can work with both.
You can work with both. All right. Which do you prefer, taking risk or playing it safe?
Well, it's both again.
Both again. Time for everything.
Yeah, what happened, risk is a stepping stone to avenues that you have never taken before. So you take it. Playing it safe, some things it doesn't carry the capability or capacity to risk it. It has to be safe.
Have to be safe.
Yeah.
And this is the last one now. Learning new skills or mastering existing skills?
Well, there it come both again. I suppose that's to be synonymous. Mastering the skills that you have attained is something that is consistent in what you do, because you do it almost by habit.
Yeah.
In terms of now where technology is on the table, I'm weaning myself into it because it's going to affect me for tomorrow, based on what I desire to do to come. So obviously I have to sharpen those skills and learn anew. Some of those computers, some other technical skills, understanding more about how you manipulate it for a better achievement.
Yeah.
And then who knows, Lord lead the way in terms of enhancing those for what I choose to do later on, so to speak.
Okay. All right, so we're going to get into your story now. Can you tell us about your early life? Where were you born and raised?
Yeah, I was born right in Kingston. It was Rockfort, the home I went to. I was born at St. Joseph Hospital, went home to Fabian Road. That's in Rockfort. I was born on Valentine's Day.
Is that why you got the middle name Valentine's?
Correct. So my dad had gotten two girls before, and he really wanted a boy. So my mom said, well, this looked like it's going to be it. And there I came, and was delivered at St. Joseph Hospital and lived at Fairborn Road in Rockfort.
What are your parents' names?
My father was Neville Valentine Richards.
So you're a junior?
I don't call myself junior, the fact that I didn't have his middle name, but you could say junior if he's taking the first and then the last name.
Or the second.
Yeah, because he wanted to have a boy, so he, took the Neville. My mom is Daphne Richards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents were married?
Correct.
Okay. What are some of your favorite childhood memories that you can recall?
Favorite? One of the sweetest things was when I actually started to go to primary school. My mom had challenges, catering for 4 children. My father actually left home and they were divorced. So when I go home on a weekend, Friday evening, and then I leave on Sunday to go to my grandparents, where I'll go to, those days it was Central Branch. So one of the sweetest thing was I ate dinner at home with my mom, and by the transport to go to my grandparents' home in the evening, another dinner was there waiting.
Wow, so 2 dinners.
Oh my, it was awesome. I just dying for Sunday to come, And,
I don't cut you. You mentioned that you had 4 siblings. You can just mention their names.
Sure. Marcia Richards, of course, Judith. She is now married, Linton, and my brother Paul Richards.
So you're the third one, you said?
Correct.
And
the first boy.
Who would be the first, second, and the fourth?
Well, the first would be Marcia, Judith will be the second, and then Paul will be
the 2 boys came last.
Well, I would say third and fourth.
Third and fourth.
Yeah, I don't use those languages.
All right. Can you share a story about your family traditions that you used to practice? You said the dinner and thing. Anything else your mother used to practice?
Yeah. Well, my practice would have been in what they call it now, embedded in 2 settings. My mom was a baker, so I was responsible to grate in the coconut.
Yes.
And the trash would be used to make toto.
Yeah.
And I learned to make toto so early.
Wow.
I'm almost sure maybe about 7 years old I'm making toto. Because I had those days you had some little trays that has like a what you call it, cupcake size. And those would have been poured inside. I have my little one put on the side, to have my 4 baked.
Yes.
Because since I have to grate the coconut and mix it.
Yes.
Those days it wasn't so popular to have a mixer.
Yeah.
So it would be hand mixed with a wooden spoon.
So you help out mommy with the baking?
Big time.
So when she bake, she sell it at home or she sell it?
No selling. The consumption wouldn't afford for selling. Because it will be consumed home.
So how she get money from it?
Well, you are suggesting that she was looking money for it.
Oh,
she just bake for the home. Remember, it was part and parcel.
Oh, she's a homemaker.
Yeah. She did, however, bake at particular seasons to sell. So it was not selling thing throughout. Christmas, she'll make cake. And they call it Christmas cake.
Yes.
But as a young boy, I would say the black cake.
Yes.
Or the fruit
cake. Yes.
Yeah, because so that would be made for special orders. And then she'll do weddings too. The case come up.
Special occasion she'll bake.
Yeah, people
but mostly for the family.
Yeah. And then I saw her do buns at Easter, which was also sold.
Do the fruits and everything.
Yes, she had it soaked. We always have fruit soaking.
24/7, all year round.
All year round. She buy our red label and did our stuff.
Yes.
And she seemed to have had the knack for it. I find she finds anything and make something of it. Okay. So that was part and parcel of a character of the home, baking. Juice was also another part that we take everything and make juice. Apart from the regular lemonade, they have a little papaya leaf out and you blend it up.
Yes.
Throw a little melon in it.
Yes.
And sometimes not a whole lot, and the lime and you flavor it, you know. And carrot was a big thing at home.
Yes.
Everybody loved carrot juice.
Yes.
Yes. And it have a little that little thing tip in it, you know. There's some people call it spirit.
So you used to help with the juice making, or your sisters are?
No, I was part of that.
Okay, and I
Because-
suspect you carry that through to your adult life, the juice making and
Oh
those
yes,
things.
because those days, as I said, we had to grate the carrot. And then she boiled it. Her method of handling that part of it was pretty strong. And then she always tipped that little spirit in it. That's her style. You know. But not too strong to let.
Yeah, just the flavor.
Yes, that's her style.
Okay, so you mentioned Central Branch Primary. Walk us through your educational journey in terms of schooling. That was your first school, or you went to a school before that?
There's a school, I think it was Brown's Prep in Brownstone. Somewhere.
Brownstone, that is St. Ann?
No, there's a Brownstone in Kingston.
Really?
In the near Dunkirk area.
I never know that.
Yeah, it was older names. I don't know if they call it still that name. It was Wild Street, which is not far from here.
Yes, just down the road there.
And to the top of it, before you reach the Albert Street, there was a little kindergarten school. So I would go up there. As those days, it wasn't so bad as it is now. You could walk at 4 years old and go up safely and reach home back safely. Yeah. And then now, when I came of age at 6, I was taken to Central Branch. I think it was an all age at that time. It was actually a feeder school for Woolmans in particular. Yeah. And I did grade 1, 2, and 3. And then I left. Well, my mom opted for me to now come to Harborview School. So I went to Harborview School from age 9, 10, thereabout.
And what
took those it was common entrance.
Common entrance.
So I took it and then left to Excelsior High School.
Excelsior, okay.
Yeah, it's a those days Excelsior to me was the best co-ed school that exists in the Caribbean, not just Jamaica.
Give us a sense of, because we don't know which year you were born in, and so just tease the viewers a little. When did you go to Excelsior? What year? Between what time?
Oh, it was 1972
in
to
the
77.
70s. In the 70s.
Right.
Okay, you remember anybody who probably went there at that time with you, who, probably persons would know?
Well, they went there, but not necessarily on my same year. Because I would go there and see
even
them.
if it's a year or
Yeah, man,
two
we had
apart.
a lot of star athletes that was there, and they did pretty well. When I went to Excelsior, when I mentioned about Excelsior in girls' champ, my son would look at me and, Excelsior.
Excelsior, yeah.
Because Excelsior dominated the girl champs as a co-ed school. Yes, several years they won over and over.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one girl, I think she did high jump Bruce. I may not remember all the names. Sandra or some Bruce, but she was a high jump and she did it for Jamaica.
Wow.
So we witnessed that. Off the records, I could mention that my father was also a member of Excelsior. And I'm advised, I don't see the pictures yet, but a gentleman told me he was a captain for Excelsior team when they first won Manning Cup in 1956.
Your father?
Correct.
Really?
Yes, Neville Valentine Richards.
So that takes us right to, we don't finish your educational journey, but you used to play sports in school as well.
Correct.
Tell us about that, how you got involved in it and what were you involved with?
Well, the first one was very interesting. I was playing a little football in the gym as a first farmer. And they had some senior personnel. Some of them were prefects. Some were like team leaders in the house team that is at the school. So you'd have different houses at the school, whether it be, I think I was in Cadbury, you have wind, etc.
Mhm.
So they will come out, little boy, come here, which house you in?
Mhm.
Soliciting participation for
Patient.
sports day.
Mhm.
So the guy came to me and said to me, which house you in? So I told him, in humility and answering to a senior.
Tina, yeah.
And he said, come with me, come with me. And the guy put me into a hurdles race immediately.
Just like that?
Just like that. So I went and did the hurdles and I came third.
Really?
Yeah.
No prior
So, training or anything, yes. Just running between the hurdles. But as an athlete, as active, because I didn't come to the school practicing for the first time.
Yeah.
I played for the primary school as well, so I was a
Okay.
little active. Anyway, I came third and ran back into the gym and continued playing. So they took my name down and took the farm that you're in. Where a coach, he was a comedian some time back and an artist as well in that area. Carl Bradshaw. So he went and round up and then I heard I got called. So I said, I can't go champs. I came third. So it would be first and second that would go and train. So he called me. When he called me, to my amaze, I was awarded second place because the guy who come second was disqualified for age violation.
Oh.
And made it worse, the guy who won the race is a Seventh-day Adventist and the
So
champ athlete for hurdles was Friday and Saturday.
So you end up being the default person now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I had persons all over, especially in the community,
Yeah.
started to train me. Even my competitor, I never forget the guy. His name was Tall, what is his name? Wint. But he went to Calabar and he was giving me techniques and he went run for Calabar too, But I suppose the community was like that, was very close.
Closely, yeah.
Schools that you got to didn't separate you, so to speak. And I had to go to champs. And it was the biggest military secret that I ever had.
Jeez.
My mom knew nothing about it. My sister knew nothing about it. And I kept it so humble and quiet. What happened is that I hide the gears. I get sweatsuit, I get track shoes and stuff in my drawer. And then I leave the morning to go. They think, well, you're going champs.
Yeah.
But watch as
Yeah.
spectator. My sister being here now, she would better give what she saw.
Yes.
When she expressed to me, Lord, no, my brother that.
So she went up there as well?
She was at champs in the audience.
Yes.
And when the names were called out, she heard the name and she looked, she said, no, my brother that.
Yes.
And she wasn't aware alone in the same home.
She got a surprise.
It was a surprise and surprise to me too.
So how did you do?
But I thought that question wouldn't come.
All right, we can skip over it.
But when the gun went off, I went off.
Yes.
And the gun went off again.
Jeez, fast start.
So I was over the second hurdle in front.
Yes.
Obviously. So they called it back. So the whole place roared and Excelsior was in their awe at the time. Went back to the mark again and got up. But this time, oh my, everybody was in front. Most of the two guys was beside me. So I was able to...
You sat back in the blocks.
Successfully, ran leave, two persons were behind. Yeah. So I didn't qualify for the next round.
For the next round.
That was the heat.
But it was your first time, so.
It was frightening. I mean, when the stadium roared, my Lord, it was something else. But at least, not even some of my classmates knew that I was running.
Yeah. What are some of the other sports you participated in high school? Yeah,
well, I did football. So went through all of the eras of football right up to Manning Cup. Played for them more than once. I think the third year, a dispute evolved, and after getting gears on pick and heading, I think Minister of Education agreed with those who were pressuring Excelsior to state that it is two schools in one, and it needs to be separated. That's why we're doing so well. So sixth form was not anymore recognized.
Yes.
Although it was recognized when I was in first year.
Yes.
But second year, still had the age to play. So I ended up having to be pulled. So gave back the gears, but because of the size shoes I wear, they didn't have nobody
Body
to
to
fit.
fit it.
So they gave me the shoe. And that same shoe now, I ended up playing for Exed Community College. And that first year, we went straight to finals. And for the first time in history, I got injured in the match. And I had to come on. This guy jumped into my leg and the muscles was stretched, not torn. So it gave me a roasting fever. So I came up and we lost the game 1-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so that is football and a little track and field.
Right.
Never do anything else. Just those two.
I did table tennis. I didn't make the team. But as part of the training fraternity who would go and they'll tell me what to do and I keep putting it on. But in terms of making the team, I didn't, because we had the top guy in the island at the time.
So it was difficult to make that team.
Oh man, it was, and the guy was good. The guy was really good. So we would go there to spar with him, so to speak.
Yeah.
Training.
Give him some practice and
yes,
things. Yeah.
push it around and stuff. And that's where as far as went. That skill came with me so much that even today, persons in my setting are not too sure they could still beat me. Because we had a test, what, about a couple of years, 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, somewhere there about. We had that reunion, about 80 person all over the world came and joined in, a family reunion. So I had some cousin, that guy would take video to show himself training. So when he has a table tennis board, you know. When we got to I think it was the Hilton Hotel in particular. Yes, it's Hilton. It's either Hilton or the Sunset Beach. I don't remember which one, but it was in Montego Bay. Sunset Beach.
Sunset Beach.
Yeah, I think the name is changed now. So the tournament start, and obviously he lost miserably. Then another individual was passed by and saw it and came on play and they lost miserably. And another young boy, before we came, he was taking off everybody. He also lost and went for somebody that he think could beat me. A big man too. And he also lost.
So you're not so bad with the thing. It's just that other persons in your era were way better than you. So
no man, they're top. They're top. They're in fact, I think he won a world title as a junior. Biles. It was good. And I think we learned certain psyche of the game.
Yes.
Play opposite to what they wanted to play.
Yes.
So I play a push around type of table tennis, which can be very annoying. Because some would back it back to the other end and you keep going with pace. No, I keep push. I'm tall. So that's to my advantage. So I push it around and the game can change and frustrate you. And then you get the beating as a result.
Okay. So after Excelsior, what school you moved on to?
Well, I went to CAS at the time. Well, Excelsior, Exed, and then CAS. But I worked about a year and a half before I went to CAS.
So when you were leaving Excelsior, you know your career path that you wanted to pursue?
I had some real big thoughts, you know. I did well in chemistry, and I love to make bomb, explosive, and some things that you learn. Nobody seemed to have gone that route much, but it caught my attention. Then later on, when I would say I came to a little more realistic setting, because bomb would mean you have to go to the States to live and to get involved with that. I decided to look at byproducts through agriculture. Lot of thoughts. It wasn't static in my thoughts, but I ended up deciding that I'd then move off into construction. So I got a job and that amplified it a bit with town planning department.
Yes.
So at age 19, I went in and started to draw. I was employed as a draftsman because I was good at drawing as well. I got a high grade at CXC at the time. And they were a little surprised. This boy, he used a Leroy set before. I said no. And they're looking at one another to say, how can leave out of school? Leroy set is actually drawing with ink.
Oh.
rather than pencil. So turned out that they employed me, and I took the job, and it was excessively fast learning.
Wow.
That you're able to do now bigger drawings, because the guys around you are either an architect,
Yes.
a town planner, who have those skills, and I didn't even know what roast mean. So the guys would give me drawings, so then I think is work for the office.
Yeah.
As a roast them getting. So I learned from it.
So those days, that's your first job.
Right.
You were still living with your parents at the time?
Yes.
About how much you were getting paid at that time, man? How your mother feel when you carry home that first paycheck?
Well, it's interesting you say that when you say carry home, because I think it's about $75. So the first thing I do is buy a tin of milk and a 2-pound bread. And I had a little girlfriend, so I tell her, I mean, this is such a big joke. Even to this day, when she do see me, she migrated and married otherwise. I took her to Carib Theatre.
Watch a movie.
And I said to her, remember, eat your dinner before you come. Because the routine was cheese crunches and a Coke. Or a popcorn.
Keep the budget
and a
tight.
Coke.
Yes.
Well, it's not about that keeping it. You have the choice. That was there. And those days, it wasn't about flaunting. Those days is love.
Yeah.
So the energy is more around love, you know. And that was it. I remember one particular day I overspent and got paid the Friday. I had to ask my sister Monday for bus fare.
Wow.
So
you used to get paid weekly or weekly?
It was weekly.
All right. You said you went to CAS. What area did you focus at CAS?
At CAS, I actually opted for the planning course. Just, you know, stepping stone, since I got exposed to it for the year and a half, learn to use some of the machines that they had and learn the processes, you know. And I think I found a lot of favor, because while I was at that job, I got baptized in the name of Jesus Christ and filled with the Holy Ghost.
So someone invited you to church?
Yes, it was. That's another story again. But what had happened when I got that, I decided that I would not stay in this $75 job. No way. So the only way the system recognizes you is by the certification that you have. So I opted and applied and I got in. Don't ask me where the fee was coming from.
Yeah.
But now I was now a child of God, pursuing my way. And I said, by faith, I'm just going to go.
So how you end up finishing CAS now?
Well,
since your parents.
That's where favor came in again. I remember when light and water went at the home. My brother was still there. He was a younger brother. And I had a grand aunt that we cared for as well. I remember I did a paper in economics, because I did it at sixth form. And the lecturer confiscated the paper and said, boy, he has taught all over the world, but he has never seen a paper written like this. And he tied it up, you know, and said it should be a sample example in the library. And he took money out of his pocket and just gave me. So I took that funds and went and paid the light bill, pay all the water rate, and everything turned on back. And the following, I think, month, my neighbor borrowed their gleaner. I was going through it and saw advertised a scholarship. I applied for it. It's in England, and I got it. Over 500 and odd person. As the fifth person interviewed, and the moderator said, listen, we found a candidate, we're not going any further.
Yes.
And I was awarded the scholarship.
So it was an academic scholarship?
Yes. Massive. They're able to pay light bill, any bill that I have and I can produce, that bill will be paid.
So you had to go to a special school, or it was facilitated at UTech?
It was facilitated at UTech. Yes. It was CAS then.
Yeah, it was CAS. Guys, for those who don't know, UTech now was CAS back then.
Yes. So that was.
So that carried you through to the end of college?
Man, I could buy a lunch. And if you want a book, I could buy it for you.
Wow.
It was huge in terms of what they pumped in. So I did it, and that was what took me through the rest of class. And of course, I was very active at school. Now that I got the Holy Ghost, I was involved in those days it was soccer. Now it's UCAM. But we're able to really move the gospel on campus. Person found out that I was a former footballer till I got pressured big time to turn up a training.
Yes.
So that same big shoe that I got from Manning Cup,
Yes.
I resurrected it, went up there, and the rest was history. Every competition that I played, we won. Until they elected me to be captain of the football team in my absence. Of course, we're pushing the gospel. I shared with them. I said, listen, I don't know if you know why are you asking me? Because we have to pray every day.
Yes.
Yes, man. So it became synonymous. I got the nickname, the preacher. The guy that sparred with me, they call him Buck. That evolved out of, we went to Cayman to play the national team, national top club team, and the third runner-up in the club team. And we got radio interview, TV interviews, etc. Only to know that we were there, I think we went there for 11 days or 9, one of those. But about when we played the second game, we found out that a church was on the property that we were.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is. So the guy said, come, we could go over there. So we went. Two of us went. Captain and the guy who got the nickname with me, we went. So when we got there, we went in and sat in a seat and the church started. Totally not Holy Ghost type church. But we sat it out, you know. So while we were there, interestingly, a lady and a family came up. It looked like them on the bench. They would never move. So we didn't understand nobody signaled to us. We offered a seat and we took the seat.
Yes.
Of course, we stayed there and sit down because we don't know what it is. Anyway, they eventually moved off. Now, somebody was watching. And of course, they asked us to stand, identify ourselves, which we did. We are visitors, we are athletes, we are here to play so and so and thing. A man walk up out of the blue and say, I know it hard in Jamaica. You know? I earn 30,000 US a year. And he was just going on. So we're looking at him and said, this is what we did.
Yeah.
And he just went in his pocket and gave us some US cash.
What?
So of course we took it. And we went back to the dormitory. And when we announced to them that, you know, we came with cash, they fell on the ground and turned it into a story. Preacher, preach, and Buck collect the money.
Okay, so that's how we got the name Buck.
Buck and the preacher, yeah.
The preacher.
So it was awesome. But it was a moment of joy, you know, in that spread. And of course, on the campus, we participated. Those days it used to call it soccer. It was like a tri-campus affair where Huey, Michael, and Cass pull up. The others weren't participating as much. But before I left, we were able to ignite maybe all the possible colleges. Kingston School of Nursing, the nurses at Huey, went to St. Joseph, went as far as in Bethlehem, in St. Elizabeth, activated in Churches Teachers College. So apostolic group grew within those journeys.
All right, so taking it back to your professional career, tell us where you're working now and what is your current position, because leading up to all of these things that you're saying at UTech and this and that, I wouldn't tell that you would be in this position here.
my story is strange, you know, and I smile at it.
Yeah.
After the scholarship, I reported officially as agreed in contract to the Services Commission. And I took my credentials and they copied it, and also the original contract that I have as well. She photocopied it as well, which they should have had. I think EEC, who issued it, would have sent it to her. Nevertheless, she sent me to a particular institution in government. When I got there, the lady who was there said to me, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I'm sent by Services Commission for employment and fulfilling the bond with my contract."
Yes.
She said, "You go back and tell them I don't have no space."
Okay.
So I went back diligently and I reported. And she said, "Listen, she cannot tell you that is we employ her.
Yes.
So she must find
Find
place,
space.
put you, get a desk, get a thing and give you work to do."
Yes.
So I went back the second time. Having done that, the lady looked at me and said, "Look like you don't understand English language." So I felt humiliated a bit. So why are they doing me this?
Yeah, back and forth.
So I went back to Services Commission. And she said, "Young man, go look at work."
Just like that.
Yeah.
So it's basically the bond.
So as I said, when I count my steps in reflection, it's a lot of favor. I went back and said, well, you know, we had camp, massive camp. So I registered to go to camp. I said, "Child, when I come back from camp,
You look at work.
What them talking about." So when I went to camp, interestingly, I was told when I got there, because I was the person organizing from Pentab, to get all the persons, get them monies to pay for buses, and we're leaving Sunday night after church. And somebody told me that they have nominated me to be the head counselor. So I said, okay. So I went, and we got there. Lo and behold, the Monday morning,
Yes.
we awake and saw a line long from here almost down to Sabina Park. I said, "What is this?" Then somebody came to me and said, "Listen, about 9 persons faint, standing up with about 750 people, you know." And they had one door serving. I said, "Wow, it's either one or two doors serving." When I look, I saw several other doors closed.
Yes.
So I said, "No, man, go to the chef and ask of him if those doors can open to that money teachers college." He said, "Of course, they open it when the school is in operation."
Yes.
So I went ahead and asked of them if they could open it. By this time, somebody on the ground called the director of the camp and told about what had happened, how people faint and how it is chaos. I didn't know about that. So he drove down. By the time he drove down the evening, we had the midday meal. And that took 25 minutes into that nearly 3 hours. 25 minutes. We opened all the doors, and each door you have 2 servants at a time. 25 minutes, 750 persons were fed. So that was solved for the week. We went on. The director didn't speak to me when he drove up. Apparently he spoke to whosoever is his watch person.
Yes.
I wasn't on his list per se, as a young, you know, in the Lord. So the Wednesday, another incident happened again. The incident happened where they served cornmeal porridge, and they went and sweetened the porridge in the same pot that it was boiled. So you know the burn mix up in it. The persons from town, which was the greater population for the camp, they would never drink it. But the country people, I mean, no disrespect to them.
Yes.
It was their flavor. They gobble it down, and I said, "My Lord." So when I look, almost 3/4 of the porridge is still there. Big pot, you know. I don't know what fall in my thoughts. I went back to the kitchen again as head counselor. I said, "Chef, tell me something. What can you do to this cornmeal porridge and turn it in cornmeal pudding?" Him say, "Easy thing that, man. But I don't have no time." So I in turn turned to him and I said, "Wow, what you would need?" And I go on like I didn't hear what he said. It's about 8 coconut and so much sugar and so much that cornmeal, etc. So I said, okay. I walked out. My journey was on to the storehouse, because I have a storehouse where they store the stuff, to find out if you have those things to afford it for the pudding. Saw 4 boys without their name tag. And man, I created a scene like the thought just came. I said, "Young man, what you doing on the compound? Are you part of this camp? We have to call the police, you're an intruder." And I created a scene. They begged So one of them said they were going for the pass and they know where the others are. So they bought all the 4 boys tag to show that they are legitimate. So I said, listen, come with me. And they all came. I sent them in the kitchen. And each of them get 2 coconuts.
Yeah, to air grater.
And they did. The evening service was so disturbed with the smell of cornmeal pudding baking. Nevertheless, we got about 14 tins. So when it was all cooling down process taking place, because I can't cut it out when it's that hot, I called the boy, one of the boys I saw, and said, where is the rest of the boy? He said, he went for them. I said, listen, come with me. And they came and we gave them a tin for themselves. So I said, listen, though, the chef must not know what was in this pan when you finish. So they were yeah. And we took it to the tuck shop and gave a reduced price. Just to recoup some of the stuff we took out.
Yes.
Man, an uproar started. How can you sell it so cheap? And things. So when the ladies finished batter me, I'm like that, you know, just dead quiet. When she finished, I said, listen, this is actually their breakfast that they didn't get to eat this morning. So if you didn't have tuck shop money, you'd have ate nothing.
Yes.
So I could never have the spirit to up the price.
Yes, yeah.
So it's just a recoup. The same night, the entire 14 tin of pudding
Set out.
was finished. You know. So that now went back to the director. Because he was troubled. How come somebody never tell him? Him say, yeah man, the head council again, strike again. And him solve it and thing without any utterances or to anybody. Just the persons who are involved. He now sent a message that he needs to meet me. And I went after the camp. When I got there, I recognized he was just talking, but not telling me about a job. So when I was about to leave, he said, listen, I have a construction site in process and I wanted to go over it and look. When I got down there, the building almost complete. It's air conditioned, putting in, and shells. So what do you want me for? Anyway, I went and he paid me. I mean, what he paid me was very... So I was a little disturbed because so when I'm come down to waste my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a real job. Then when he saw me going, because I was paying a lot of attention, he sent somebody down to pick me up, carry me up to the head office, and I was taking bus and things at the time. So he called me and said, listen, that's not the job I want you for. I expanded my car rental business and I want you. I said, no, I can't. I don't even have a driver's license.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about that era. Yeah.
More construction is my thing. The man put up his finger and said, listen, what I understand you did at the camp, I want that in my company. People who think, and you don't make a trumpet about it or a sound about it, but you fix it.
Yeah.
So I ended up being a first time maintenance supervisor.
Yes.
But for the first 3 weeks, the learning process was massive in terms of what I've learned in the short time. I came so skilled that the Lord, I believe, strongly allowed me to detect and discern, and they started to call me all names. The brother is psyche, you know. But it was a reverse psychology. I went in and see one of them, they just doing a little small patch on a fender and took a gallon of filler.
That's way too much.
That's way too, about a pint or a quarter you need, if so much. I go in and search up the vehicles and found it in it and say, wait, is who do this, man? Them don't know better. Oh, you must leave this out here. Scotty, I'm a call the store clerk. Put it in the showroom for me now. Remember now, I didn't accuse anybody. But technically somebody was trying to steal it by pushing it through the gate.
Yes.
After hours.
But it downplay it.
Yes. So that took place. Then I found a guy who skillfully he was the supervisor before I came. He gas a car that is full tank. So take the car with full tank and go to the gas station and full it. How I found out was one day I noticed that he dominates doing it.
He always wants to do it. Yeah.
So I called the rental attendant and I said, tell me something. This car rented by Lestine Rose so and so. She said, no man, let's see, brought it in full tank.
Mm-hmm.
I said, really? I don't say nothing to her now. I go up to the accounts and ask the accounts, you did a purchase order for that? They said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even go to the gas station, did my own investigation, and found where the person signed
Mm-hmm.
and put the money appropriate to make it look like that would be near the cost to full it. Let me have a little,
Yes.
say play with a figure. I said, what? So I asked for the other cards and saw that the last week and a half, his name constantly.
Yeah.
All of the numbers I wrote down, I went back to the rental supervisor. All of those cars were filled. Came, he terminated back field.
Yes.
Called the guy. Now these guys are not really, quote unquote, the nicest of guys. So two of his friends who are not so nice to, I called them big men. So I have a word with you. So I put his two friends over one side of the table and him over the next side. And I said, what I'm going to talk about is not so nice, you know. But you see, on Friday, when some people buy a beer and juice and things Friday, you need to know where the money coming from. That's what I mean. Well, I found out that our little friend here may be painting an image that could affect you.
Yeah.
So I created a scene. He takes car that is filled and go refill it. Get the money, give the gas station attendant the money. Come down, save it up on Friday on a lava.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the boss find out and also you are accessory to his stealing? How you look, you're a thief.
Yes.
But I stood in between in case them start to rumble. I could maybe, because I'm a big guy to them, so to speak. So I asked them to leave, but not make him leave same time. And they left and I have a conversation. I didn't report him. I said, listen, avoid gas in the cars. That's number one. I went to the security. Any day, let him out to go gas a car. And the last day, I have a security work.
Yes.
So I created a scene. But he deceased. And I caught him less than 2 months. Try it again. He went up to take up a car. Coincidentally, the car filled. He was at the opportunity to do the same thing again. And they trusted him because trust caused the weakness.
Yes.
They gave him a thing and he go run the money again.
Yes.
And this time now he drove down the car. Because he's on the watch.
Yeah.
Where I sit, I see the gate.
Yeah.
I came out and I met him. And I take the man and said, security, check off the car and check it off. So it filled and he left. I have the money, you know. But I don't know. Then I made a call and the girl said, no man, the car came in.
Came in filled already.
I went to the gas station.
Just to double check.
Yeah, man, you have to prove all things. So this time I said nothing to him. So I called the boss and I said, well, you know, I have a situation here. And I explained to him what happened and what I did the first time. So they had a board meeting, a little rap thing they called. They said, fire him and fire me too.
What?
So when they said that, I said, no problem. But I said, I trust the person who was in charge before I came,
Yes.
who gave oversight. They'll also be fired too. And I walked up. The director, the CEO called me back. Just be at peace. He was just telling me what they said. But he has the overriding position. By this time now, the person who asked for me to be fired, he was the one in charge. Nevertheless, they went down and called the guy and they dismissed him. And of course, the whole place changed. I'm just there not even 3 months. The whole thing changed. I did a lot of stuff that I think was just led by intuition.
Yes.
I believe it's just the Holy Spirit have a way to guide you, in all things, teach you all things. And when it's a teach you all things, it's not just scriptures.
Yes.
And the place came very, very tranquil. A man don't even think to try steal. So this man's psyche, he must see through the wall. They called me all sort of things. It didn't bother me. Because I was never that. I would just have the support of the Lord around.
Yes.
And there came another guy, same thing, him started to swing the thing. And the first move we make him get caught. I said, listen, let's go home now. But think if you want to work here. We're going to earn money, but not like that. And he left. and the word get out, and the big boss heard what I did, and the mayor said dead with laugh. He never even interfere. And the boy eventually came back, and the whole thing changed again. You know, so the company just started to do very well. You know, they managed to learn much more, and we grew from 54 cars to about 310 cars.
Yes.
So it was pretty much a big hunk.
Yeah.
So that's how I entered into the
transportation business
by default. A friend of mine, he's one of the deans of at UTech now. He said to me, Richie, when you're schooled,
yes,
you could bring to the table a great level of what you call learned principles that you can adapt into other areas of work. So although it wasn't construction, just car rental.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, every other day they fired me. Every other day, apparently my language was a little strong. But like Paul would say, I may be rude, but not by knowledge.
Yes.
I asked a question to the board person one day. I said, listen, they used to have a thing what they call the mobility rate, meaning how much of the cars is mobile. And they would rejoice at 65. Maybe they reach 70 in some cases. So I went to a meeting, I would get battering for it, get the cars, but it takes money to fix it. So I drew an analogy that if a car exceeds a certain amount of time, sell it. So my position when I went to the meeting, they had to join me up now, you know.
Yes.
And I said, gentlemen, what are we running? A car rental or a junkyard? No, a term of expression like that at my level,
yes,
should fire me straight through the gate as being rude. So one person held on, which was the banker who was on the board. I said, if the cars are there and they can't earn, what are we here to do? Not earn. If a car is not able to earn, depart.
Sell it.
You might sell 12 cars and only earn back 4 to buy, but whether the car down or you sell it, you still have to pay for it. So in my economics that I learned at the tertiary level coming up, there's a thing that they call debt reduction. So you cease the up for the debt to continue and you minimize it. Part of it is to get the place mobile. So immediately now as I decide, they say, all right, Richie, you have to be an auctioneer. You yourself go auction it. I said, but I'm not an auctioneer. He said, well, they don't have to spend the money.
Yes.
I ended up have to be the auctioneer.
You're trying to sell those cars.
All of the ones that are not working. So I told them, I said, what budget you want? They said, they'll take 12.5. The auction was so successful, 14.8 million. But I made an agreement that if you go over, what percentage would I get from it?
Yes.
And they agreed, you know. Nevertheless, we succeeded. And the company, for the first time, when the ashes fall, when the Christmas season came, we were like nearly 90-something percent of mobility.
Wow.
So it's a high level of earning.
Yes.
I think it was a favor of God. Just like he said to Abraham, when you put your foot, I will make you. I think that's what happened, because I knew nothing. They used to laugh. So
that was a stepping stone to here.
Yeah, actually, I went into another car rental company. And by that story, I don't really like talk about it, but...
Can I sum it up quickly?
I went there after I left the other previous one. I just hold the name for the time.
Yeah, man.
I went there and they were young, but it's a good brand they had. And I went there and turned the place upside down in less than a month. I went and the storeroom was like $1.8 million, like 1.7 million. I brought it straight down to about 500 million. We don't need to buy these things. Give them back. Get credit note. Why are we storing all of these? And that money could put toward buying a car. So we did that. I bought a lot of expertise based on experience to the table. People were just complaining. Boy, I use back the part and the part have a crack on it. I take the part. The crack is where you connect it was a pump. The section that crack is the part that screw on, not the pump itself. I know the expertise of the person with the aluminum welding. So I said, I get $2,000 or something instead of spending $40,000.
To replace the whole thing.
Yeah, and the guy who complained behind my back to the manager at the time, I gave him the car to drive home. I gave him a cardboard and said, when we reach home, put it underneath it.
See if it
And it
leaking.
drip. So he came back and I marked the cardboard so I couldn't swap it.
Yeah.
So he brought it back and he told us, I said, you see him on car to the airport. And he took it to the airport. The car was successful, they went. I remember Mr. Issa came when they went out behind my back and bought some ladder rims to fit on a Lancer. I said it may fit, but it is not designed for it. At high speed performance, the whole thing will shake apart. They went and bought it, managing director, and the same guy again who went behind me back. I'm the supervisor, you know. Nevertheless, they went and bought it. When they run into trouble, the car road test, and before it reached the park, they brought it back. I said, you guys don't listen, you know. So I told them what to do. Since the rims were short,
Yes.
take the rims off the financial controller car, which is a Lancer. Put on some cheap mag rims on it. That's a private driven.
Yes.
It will up the value of the car, and at the same time, I get available 4 rims that can put on 3 cars.
Yes.
One car need one,
One
need
each.
one,
One
and
each.
the other one need 2. So the 3 cars went out and was rented. So Mr. Issa came to me because he heard, he saw the car story is very funny. He heard that the rims were bought and they couldn't work. So he thought I was the one being the leader. Right? When it's the manager and the guy hook up to go buy it.
Yeah.
So we're under pressure, you know, trying to get cars. So he said to me, you know, a ship only need 1 hole and it could sink it. So of course, I responded immediately. I said, that's why I'm here. Is I who put in my foot and covering that hole right now. So I turned the story around.
Yes.
The then managing director look at me, you know. But later on, they found out. So you bring to the table the wit and wisdom for the organization for better. So after a while, they start to respect you. And we started to grow. Then things got out of hand. There's a lady, new lady came as a worker. She got the money because the original manager, she migrated. And she started to make some serious passes. One day I was at Montego Bay, went down there, I was set for operation down there. And she checked in my room. I said, what? By this time, I'm ministering to the front desk to share with them. Say, hey, you must give your heart to the Lord. And then say, hey, see, ma, a woman come right in the room. So when they told me the news, I said, what? So I went in my pocket and said, it's all right, give me another room. Only to see the lady came out. When she came out here, Mr. Richards, the company have to know how to save monies, you know, and be innovative to save monies. They gave an answer. She recognized my resentment and she went and signed. On the same purchase order, because she's a signing officer, I'm not.
Yes.
And get a room for herself. As I said to myself, boy, you know, when you're living for the Lord, that's how that thing happens to you. People don't know these things, you know. This story, baby, is the first to get in public. I went home and told my wife, and my wife nodded her head. And that same lady went to some meeting, came home, it is raining, and asked for me to come pick her up at the airport. I said, what? I said, no, man. The company give you a card that they can pay Juta, because they're always there once a flight is landing, and take you home. So, of course, she persists and persists. So she come in. And she came to my home patrol, you know. And I went, put on a towel over my hand, just go outside, put the car outside, and left it out there, and I came to my home and took the car. So the morning in question, I said, why them people are serious, you know. But living for the Lord, I just saw it as a test. And she took the car. Me or the car, she took it, went back to my bed and sleep. The morning, my wife said, come, she came to work. I said, no, I have a signed car. And she come for it. So I made my mind up, so I'm going to leave. And At 10 o'clock, I made a phone call. I'm still supervisor and called somebody from the airport who was taking a car to the head office to pick me up. And I did. I went in and did my resignation and just quietly left it there. And I eventually left, you know.
And they ended up here?
And then I ended up at budget at the other company now.
What here now?
It was the car dealership before where I'm at now.
Okay.
And then the rest was history. I've never done sale, but the gentleman made a point. So he mentioned a point. He said, "So Richard, you sold 23 cars. You never advertised in the papers, and your network was able to sop up 23 cars. They don't do that over there. So you think I'll do well in sales." And that's when the turning point came.
In sales?
Yes.
So you're currently in sales now?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is a typical work day for you entail?
It's sort of hectic because you don't know what might pop up. You come with a plan. I remember I used to write the stuff down in my pocket, come out in the morning and I look at it and I make a note and pursue it. I'll find out that the 9 is just 4 I did because of the pop-ups that comes. Customer come with a complaint. Who sold the car? They come to you. Boy, Richie, help me out, no so and so and so. So I'm away from a desk type of a thing. But nevertheless, you have to strike a balance.
Yes.
So I used to stay back maybe an hour or half an hour if I have the room and catch up and then come back fresh the next morning again. But the beauty about it is that study the systems that you can become a little more verse efficient and be very proactive. Things you know that will come down but you do it now. Yes. So things can erupt. Like today, we have a big sale here and we had an athlete came. And it's a big video thing they were doing. Took about nearly 2 to 3 hours. I didn't plan for that. But at the same time, execute.
Yes.
I came back and when you were on your way here, we were passing and going up with another lady.
Yes.
That I had a appointment with, which went, and I called her, apologized. And she said, "Yes, you only know Lord work too because I'm available now." So 5 after 4. We are now doing what we should have done 1:30 for her.
Okay.
So things like that pop up. And she was very pleased, she loved it, and then we're here.
So you want to make a plug now for for persons interested in buying vehicles, they can check you. What type of vehicles do you?
Yeah man, Mitsubishi is what I sell. The brand has been a strong brand. We've had a lot of changes. But we tend to dominate now, unlike before, in the pickup era. And now we have the new Triton.
Yes.
And it's expected to do very, very well. It's replacing what we used to call the L200.
Okay.
So it's a name change plus a shape change. Then we have also the Outlander, which also is a new shape. And also a new look with new, what we call features. So it's going to have, like, for example, 360-degree camera, lane assist, collision brake assist, power tailgate. You can actually kick at the back of the tailgate and it opens underneath. And you're going to also have memory seat. That will be the first car I'm aware of that Mitsubishi has with a memory seat. Then you're also going to have the 20-inch. I've never seen a 20-inch factory offered. I know people add it afterward.
Yes.
We're getting 20-inch for the Outlander. In addition, this would have been the second car that I'm familiar with for the last 15 years that comes with a lumbar support. So those gentlemen or whoever have issues with tummy and the crouching, they can have their lumbar push it out. I made to understand it helps with a better circulation, keep you more alert. So the Outlander is a big offering. And of course, the others which include the Pajero Sport that has changed name from Montero Sport to Pajero. And then we have the new Expander and Expander Cross. That will also be a big sale going on for that now. We're doing a test drive setup which persons come that would get access. And in addition, We have also the ASX, which is also going to change name to talk as the Outlander Sport.
Okay.
Yeah. So
once persons are interested in anything Mitsubishi, they can check you.
Yeah. In addition, I'm asked to sell also Suzuki and the Great Wall offerings, which include the P Series pickup and which also include the Havals,
Oh,
which is
that is the newer vehicle that is taking over
taking the mark a
Jamaica.
bit. Yes.
Are they electric or regular vehicles?
There are combustion engine. The electric we had was formerly the BYD, but another company has taken over the dealership. We still have a few here,
Yes.
like the One Plus and the Tang and the Dolphin, and I think the T2, which is the panel van, and the T3, which is the minibus.
Yes.
Maybe one or two are still left, people can access it.
So once persons interested in purchasing a new vehicle, they can check you from Mitsubishi to some of the Suzukis, the Haval, and others that you guys have.
BYD, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a game changer.
We're going to shift gears and go into family life now. You mentioned earlier about your wife. Tell us how you met her and walk us through that little journey.
Yes, I got the Holy Ghost at Pentecostal Tabernacle on 66 to 72 Wildman Street. And I was actually involved in sport at that time at a high level. And part and parcel of the whole experience of being baptized and started the new convert class was to sort of quietly start to shelve the things of the world. So my concentration was there because I was involved with a lot of females involved at the time. So I had to go hunt them down, tell them what happened, and with a view to sever, the type of relationship, not that we sever friendship.
Yes.
Because we're very, up to this day, we are still exceptionally good friends. So on going to church with the attitude and aptitude to just learn more about the Lord, it came across where a little rumor started. Somebody said that this girl loved me, and I didn't know her, but the grapevine kept coming. So they came, and one day somebody pointed, I said, see the girl here. I said, whoa. So eventually we were introduced, and I was taking it very timely. And I recognized that there are a lot of things I don't know.
So that girl was your wife?
No.
Okay.
So, but I'm now being brought into the arena of visibility.
Yes.
Because when I came there, nobody knew me. So I went and very timidly, went and said, well, she might be the first friend I could ever know. I knew nobody at the assembly, so to speak. There's another lady I found out long after. She went to Excelsior with me. And she knew my girlfriend while I was Excelsior. Yes. But she kept her distance because she was preparing to get married too. So she didn't want to see herself hanging around me.
Yeah.
But that was their culture. It didn't bother me because my thing was more the Lord. I just want to know.
Focus on the Lord.
Yes, yes. And I was not in any way intimidated by other things. So I went on and on. It's about, I made a commitment that while I'm going to school, I wouldn't do any dating period. Just friends. So that girl on campus was deadly close. Everybody would say, wow, I'm Richie, man, introduce me. Because they knew my position. And she wasn't in the faith either. But she came from one of the rural areas. And it so happened that when I finished, I was to now get another scholarship to go to New York Tech to do my master's as a footballer. Plus, for the first time, the director of sports said he would help a footballer because what he saw achieve. He has never seen in the history of the campus. I think we found a lot of favor there. So he wanted from myself and the vice captain to get a scholarship, both academia, he wanted to architect, if I remember right. And not only a sports scholarship, but also academia as well. So what ended up happening is that the scholarship came, but only came with one. And so happened that he felt bad because he wanted to give both of us. So he ended up switching and give it to another guy, a track athlete, which is what he normally does. So I opted to say, well, Chuck, I don't care. I just go look a job.
Yes.
So I did. And I saw this girl one afternoon. I said, wait. Then later on, I recognized she come to the church
So where you saw her?
on the road.
When you're job hunting?
No, when I was just walking from church. I didn't have a ride at the time. So I looked on there, walking and things. So walk past them and look at her. And just smile and just say hi and I walk past her and gone. Because I had an entourage that was now coming to the church because we had witness to them and support. So I kept it there. In short order from that now, I kept seeing her more often. I suppose because I'm not looking at her.
Yeah.
So I'd make remarks when I'm passing her, you know. I remember once I said to her, you take bus go west. You soon start take bus go east. So they would laugh and smile it up and thing. And I kept seeing her till afterward, within a year or maybe a little, we started to talk a little closer now. So we don't walk past her, walk with her. Our exchange. So I used to get her cousin. Because I'd reach my bus stop first and I stop. And she walked to her bus stop on her own with her entourage. Okay, the man is when we walk her go her bus stop. But we didn't have a commitment that we're going to date ourselves.
Yes.
So when I broke the ice was on my birthday. I never forget another girl who I used to go to high school with. Heard that I'm now in the church. And she was blown away. So she invited me to a Valentine's Day dinner that her group was having. So I said to her, you know, because I'm saying she know me from primary school, high school, and she now seen something that she said she love what I like. Said, Miss Spirit, me said that could have never real. It was just next infatuation.
Yes.
Because love is a thing, you know. I see it as eternal. Once you love forever. You might not love the deeds of the person.
Yes.
But it's a love affair. So I went ahead and told her that I'm talking to someone. If she could come. She said yes. Yeah. So bought the ticket. So when I got there, I was pretty late waiting for my wife to come. Because I didn't want to go inside and she's not inside as yet. So I waited till she turned up. It's somewhere near Tangerine Place or something like that. So she came and I escorted her in. And when we got there, them run out a table, run out a chair. So we had nowhere to sit. So the sponsors ran up and down till they got a table, dust it up, throw a tablecloth on it. And then they brought only 2 chairs. So of course, the girl who invited me, I seated her. And then I seated my wife to be. And I stood up. And everybody was just, you know, everybody in them groups, you know. I'm not even known by the group. One lady was there. She was the secretary at the class. She used to help me type my assignments. And it pay her a certain fee. So long after waiting was about nearly 15 minutes or maybe more, somebody brought a chair. And it's at that time now I sit down. So with all that excitement now, we had a conversation. And I expressed to my wife, by this time the scholarship thing didn't come through as yet. I said to her, boy, I really don't want to get into a relationship because if we do and I go away, I can't guarantee with all the pressure all the states who want them stay. my wife was allowed to be at the time, just allowed me to speak. And when I was finished, she just said to me, well, I'll wait for you. I said, you're crazy. Wait for who? What you talking about? I said, what? You don't know? Because I had a visit more than once. From when I was, what, 16. And I see how them operate up there. Those girls are deadly. Anyway, told my wife. So, to be at the time. And she had an understanding. So we started to talk a little more, you know. Told her about my relationship that I had and the one that I severed. She met some of them as well, yeah. And they became like that. And it came home and the scholarship didn't come the following year now. I said, no, sir. I make the move. So on my birthday again, we had early morning prayer meeting. So I went and spoke to the fast and my dearly beloved friend, George Mackenzie.
Yes.
And George agreed. And George have a little relationship when I was on the campus with it. He used to do photography at the time.
Yes.
But turned the whole campus in his hands to come and take pictures. So he took hundreds and hundreds of pictures at a low price. Too.
Yes.
Plus, gave a reward to the had a film club. Those days they used to print pictures that in a dark room and stuff. So he gave support to it in terms of the funds, but he made his bit and we got our bit. So I spoke to him and he came. And one of the things I didn't know till long after, the day in question, you know, that George came was so sacrificial. And I went to my wife to be and said, you know, Pastor Stewart, I think I want to speak to you before we rush down to work. By this time I was now driving. So she went in and I walked like I going like I, you know, dumbing the thing and she go on to Pastor Stewart. Those days his office was at the front. As you come through the door,
the fire there.
it's on the fire on the right. So she went and when she went, no, as she turned the corner, I just turned back and run behind her without she knowing. So when she got in now, Pastor started to talk to her. The door was still not really locked with a key. So I quietly opened it and walk up. Then George was in the restroom. He came out. And George looking at him.
And she don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Then I walked up and I proposed to her. And just back out the ring. She was so blown away. She just stood there and look at Pastor to say, Pastor, you did that? George, you're here? And we started to take pictures. And I put the ring on and thing. So I said, okay, and I walked out. Only to know, I said, oh my God, she's still in there. So I went back in there and she started to walk out. I said, man, why you never tell me? I said, you know, here's a surprise. You tell people you went to surprise them. So she said, I said, come, I will take you down to your school because I had the right. Because she was just there stunned. So I took her down and then we had a discussion after and look at the date. So the 7th of June, which was this month. And she agreed. So we started to take steps. How we're going to manage it and fund it and stuff like that. And the rest was history. The 7th of June.
How long after you got married?
It was February. I proposed and got married to her in June.
Oh, in June.
Yeah. But we were talking a year and a little before, a year and about 3 months. Or 2 months.
So tell us officially her name now. I know they don't know who you get married to, you know.
Her name is Joy Veronica Richards.
Joy Richards.
Her maiden name was Joy Veronica Lewis. Yes. So we took it in stages. Went down and I met her mom. She was at Independence City. And her mom, long after, said, "From him coming, I know, say I him. Mother me, she's not deceased now. I heard her echoing it, but I didn't say a word, you know. And then I went and I met her father. Drove her down to the country. He was in center before he passed on. And I also met, he was in the faith as well. and we had a conversation and stuff. Then I started to meet her sister. I actually saw her sister before, but didn't know the connection because they have a look-alike, you know.
Yeah.
They were of different mother, but same father. Yes. And then I met another sister of hers. Then I started to meet her brothers little by little after that. So it was, you know, quite a bit till we sealed the deal. And then she came and lived with me. And
East.
East.
She started to take bus go east.
Yes. Well,
So how long after you started your family?
I think the family came, we had a firstborn married in 86, I had a firstborn in 87. But we had a unfortunate situation where the nurse made an error and the child died of a heart attack.
At what age?
Not even a day old.
Not even a day old.
Not even a day old.
Wow. So that must have been devastating.
Devastating. Devastating. It was a hard ball to take, and as fortunately I had a good examination of the baby because they took my wife upstairs for recuperating, and they had the baby down so that he took in a little of the water. I think it's meconium or something like that they call it. So they had a quick thing and clear it out and push it in a tube to suck it from the lungs. And it was successful. However, the night changed and the doctor came and checked and saw that the child was recuperating good. And they took the oxygen mask off the face and started to give a mixture. So it was a process that would be normal. Then they would have just take the oxygen off and leave it to the regular air. I just went away just a couple bit out of the room. And apparently that little time I came out of the room, because I had to put on my coat and shoes and all the hygiene stuff. When I got back there, I don't see the baby. So I said, well, maybe take it up to his mom. But in turning, I saw something wrapped up and tied. So I pull it. When I pull it, it's a baby. Man, I said, what
devastating
in God's heaven could have
you
happened?
Cried?
No, I'm not the cry type.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't think I'm the cry type either.
Yeah, what happened is I observed these things, but I'm deeply
tearing
hurt.
up inside.
Deeply hurt.
What about your wife? She cried?
Well, she said, yeah, man, she tore up, man. She was almost going, you know, almost like what people would call, you know, going out. Because she said, Valia showed the baby. Mind them swap the baby, you know. And because we had issues, she was being treated to take the baby naturally. Then they had to do a cesarean. And then while she was doing the cesarean, an emergency came up. Where the same doctor, I don't know how they could do that, you know. The same, that's how the baby took in the stuff. Same doctor left her doing a cesarean, you know.
Not safe, man.
And go and deal with another lady who came with a busted belly.
Which was a little bit more urgent.
Yeah, the belly burst out and everything dropping out.
Yeah.
So that's what caused the whole issues. By this time, I don't even know because I'm outside because they told me not to come in.
Yes.
You know. Nevertheless.
So you decided you weren't going to have any more children? Or you say you're going to go as soon as possible? Because some people, after such tragedy, they say, I don't want to go through this again, and then it might not happen.
The thing about it, as I said, favor, I would use that word often. Favor just came into my life so often. As deadly quiet and not a word. Because I know usually, you know, when you do express, when you're hurting, it can be not so good. But my wife was very concerned because she just thought that maybe somebody took the baby and it was swapped and it's not our baby. And I had to be consoling her because I had pictures. And the baby had certain mark, like birthmark, that I saw when I came and saw the baby tied up. So I told her, no, it is. And they kept confirming because he had a little mark where they sucked the stuff up. It was still there. So I knew it was a baby. But for me,
it was a boy?
Boy, yes. So what ended up happening is we left. My aunt was actually a doctor up there. And she wasn't there, she was away. When she came back, the file jacket was left on her desk. And they started, I'm told that somebody was threatening her to say she must remember that she's a doctor too. So I went and have a conversation with her, and she said to me that they made 9 errors. 9 errors. This is a massive court deal.
Yes.
But in my spirit, I prayed and we talked. I said, this is not going to bring back the child.
Yes.
And a lot of thoughts came through my mind. Suppose one of us end up going to the hospital and say, hey, see, the man was sued the hospital, almost closed down the hospital, the amount of money in it.
Yes.
Who
So
would
you
want
didn't bother
to
one go down that road.
It's not bringing back the child. That's number one. When I went, we had some bills to pay. When I went, some personnel came up there and hustling around that thing and took the thing. I said, Mr. Richards, you're free to go. I said, okay. And I look at everybody. They said nothing. So the lady seemed to have had some authority or something. So we didn't pay. When we left, went home, and my wife was now recuperating, I got a call. A particular doctor who was one of the top ones up there called, apologizing for what happened. And this is a massive disgrace to the medical field, and he was very upset.
Yeah.
And he offered his service to say he'll do counseling, and he has an advice. The advice was she didn't give breastfeed, so they would recommend try within 6 months. I said, what? I wasn't really ready to go to put her through that pain and agony again. But nevertheless, we kept going to him, and he kept checking and he examined her. So he said, Mr. Richard, she's ready. I said, this man here. So I just held my peace. I would just leave it there. And Joy now would say, well, he's going to try again, like what he said. So I said, baby. He said, well, the wound is here. She said, the x-rays, inside out. So I said, well, all right, no problem. I don't have a problem, but it's usually an issue that that's in thought. So I tried and boom, got a boy. When I went, they told me that to come in as usual. And he said to me, what you lost? I said, a boy. So when they got back one, so that's when Odin came.
So your firstborn is Odin?
Well, second born.
Well, yeah.
Why? Because he was alive. The kid was alive. He died at a death by error.
So you didn't get a name for him yet?
Yeah, man. His name was Don Valentine Richards.
Don Valentine Richards.
Yeah, he was registered as well. Because he was born. And then they had a death certificate.
Yeah.
The process is that once it was alive, you have to put it in.
So this Odin is actually the second.
Correct.
First one passed away. A day? One day?
Yeah.
1 day. Okay, so after Odin came, how long?
Shanice. I remember I was at but I was youth president at the time. I had service at the church. It was a Tuesday. So I had to go in, and she came early, like about 3 o'clock or 4, somewhere near there. And we're in charge of service. So when I break the news, I'll never forget it. I said, well, I'm up to advise that my wife gave birth and Papa, baby girl, one more voice to praise the Lord. And the whole church tear apart, you know. And the doctor still kept his task, you know. We had to buy crafting our way in with his secretary. And he would never take anything. He said he was so upset. We saw where his office was lacking something. And we went and got one of those. We used to call it grandfather clock.
Yes.
A nice mahogany, golden stand, and put it in his office without handing it to him. So he'll come in, and the secretary say he looks at the clock and he goes in and he's one until one day he said,
where did this come
what
from?
was that clock always here?
Yes.
And apparently the secretary burst the news. And he said, what? And then he went and he looked at the clock and him exam. It's like he forgot he was going to his office. I work at a particular way. Just bang, bang, and some synergies. So we got a call. to say thank you. And I told you guys, I told you guys. So, sir, we're just grateful. You're very helpful. We didn't know you. You introduced yourself. And he was just going to say he would never take a dime. So the kids just came rolling. I think Xavier may have been the only one. Because he had moved from there and we didn't seek to contact him. And another doctor was managing her. And when she took in, another doctor did the delivery.
So your third child is Zavan.
Fourth child was Xavier.
Why you keep?
No, it's not your fault. I'm the one who passed. You're just my memory. No worries. So we have pictures of him as well.
Yes. So your fourth child, forgive me.
Yeah.
Fourth child now is Zavan. So how much apart is the second,
Well,
third, and the fourth?
The initial plan, we would have had them close for twos. So 78, 88 would have been the range, or 79. Then would break. Then do our assessment, and then go for another two. And so they came, Xavier and Shanice was like a year and a half or 2 years apart. So that was the plan. So we kept that just the same.
Yes.
It's just that the one with Odin growing together with was absent because he died.
Yes.
So we didn't change that plan. And then when we were now to go for the next two now, and I told her I wanted 6 boys. She didn't answer me till one day she nudged me in bed. She said, baby, why would you want? I said, be honest with you, I want to go off in farming and I want to do byproducts. So we're going to need hands. So when she thought about it and things, she came back to me and said, if you need hands, you hire them.
Yes. Yes, that's a much better idea.
So after that, we took her position. She wouldn't go no further. So we worked with that. And then we went through schooling them right up to tertiary. And then, of course, Odin came home one day that he wanted to be a professional athlete. I said, what? So who will sponsor you? You know? So we were there trying with it because unknown to many, 3:30 I'm up in the morning for about nearly 2 years, every morning. Cook breakfast, Afghan saltfish, salt mackerel, callaloo, etc., for a cooked meal. Because I know the institution up there, that Odin could have a meal properly prepared and igloos and stuff. So it's not going to the stores to buy a sandwich with bread and all that. No. So we did that, and I never forgot when he went to the university games held in China. The bearer came to me and said to me, what my son name? And I said, oh, the name him just take the goal a while ago. I said, what are you talking about? He said, yes, in China, first gold medal won in the Birdnest Stadium was Odin Richards. I said, what? So I started to make 2 calls and think, and he was away. And it was reconfirmed. So when he came back, the Chinese embassy, unknown to many people, invited him for dinner. Because today he still has that first medal that was won in the Birdnest Stadium. After that, they opened it up to the Olympics, and Bolt and the others went and took the limelight. So he continued, and so far he has peaked out, I believe. He has won medals in all the sports except the Olympics. The World Games, I think he got a bronze. Pan Am Game gold, the character game gold, and he go on and on. So he reigned for what, 11 years until last year. A new champion is on board now. So he's still pursuing to see where he's going at, but I think he's going to make a decision shortly when that is concerned. You know, Zavon was another one. Oh my God. Zavon, I'm here. And the sports one, the directors of Casey drive from stadium, come here and shout out, Richie! What are you doing here, man? You know, your son just take the gold medal and set a new champs record for javelin. I said, what?
Mm-hmm.
He said, yes. And he gave me the drama that the guy before him broke the record. And the whole place stayed down, I think it's from St. Andrew Technical.
Mm-hmm.
About 3 or some minutes, Zayvon come and through and broke back his record.
Yeah.
Poor guy never get in,
Short-lived.
never even leave the stadium with it. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't know that Shanice was actually high in sports as well.
Really?
Shanice played lawn tennis
Mm-hmm.
for Woolmers and was a champion.
Mm-hmm.
She kept getting beaten in the competition by this particular girl. I don't know if it was Immaculate. She beat the girl, and when she reached up to the final, the girl beat her all by 1 point. She won score. And she beat her in the rounds, you know.
Yes.
Till when she decided to go to UTech, she opted not to continue. And the guy who was training them and stuff tried to lure her, either come coach or come be one of the scorers or
To
the
get involved
judges.
in it still.
Yes, so she would go to the one that is in Crossroads, right where Azar place is.
Piccadilly.
Yes, somewhere around there. So, and she participated till she eventually totally gave it up.
So you were involved in sports, and all three children came and were involved in sports as well.
Yeah.
By any chance, your wife was involved in sports? No, I was on your side.
Well, I see they take they take fun at it because she would say to them that she'd run and beat them. But of course, I was never in that conversation.
Yes.
It's she and her children, so to speak. But she did say that she did dancing, if that would be classified as an art. And she did some level of karate, or whatever that was word. But at least I've never digged into her in those areas per se. But the kids did. They asked her numerous of questions while they're younger and stuff. So I would already hear by the way, so to speak. So she was somewhat active.
Yes.
She sing, she do a little dancing, and then she said she did a little karate, but that was another story.
So you guys had a nice, lovely family, and everything was going seemingly well until she fell ill and eventually passed away.
Yeah, that is strange.
Tell us about that, the illness shortly, and that last final year leading to her death.
We had a massive family reunion. Over 80 persons coming from all over the world. England, US, Jamaica. I believe some was from, I'm not sure. Let me not say it, maybe Canada or something.
That's the same one that kept in Montego Bay?
Yes.
Yes.
It was a twofold. We went to Negril first at Rande Village, because I think that person related to somebody in the family. So they started there for 2 days. And in that same time, Joy was having some signs like she was spotting. And one day she told me she's going to the doctor. I said, what happened now? She said she's going to do a checkup because she's spotting. No, she's going to do a pap smear. So I said, but baby, you know, just do a pap smear. Pap smear is annual.
Yeah.
Apparently she's getting a second opinion.
Yeah.
So that happened about April.
What year was that? About a year?
2018.
2018.
Yeah. So anyway, she went ahead, did it. By this time now, I get involved. She said, "Well, right?" I said, no, I'm coming. I want to hear what the doctors have to say. Work would always be there, and if I drop down, I'll find somebody. So after she went twice, the third one I was there, the fourth one I was about 5. We went to, and then all of them is saying that she need to get a biopsy. I got suspicion for the spotting. So we went ahead and got it done. And the result, apparently, that they sent it away somewhere to get it assessed. So that was done in July, right in the heart of the reunion. So transportation was part and parcel of a big part plus we paid money for accommodation. So I said, well, Joy went in, I think the Thursday for the operation the Saturday morning. And we're going down the Thursday. So I had to take her there the Thursday, or then opted to stay back. But he was in training too. So I took down Zavon, my mom, and two other persons from the country to Negril. Got down there in the morning after we took her in. Because when she went in, the doctor came, I think while I was there, they came for her. So while she gone in, I left and then come pick up and head straight, pick up at Mandeville, Negril. When I got to Negril, I went and started to meet everybody I could possibly meet. After I ate, I went and got sleep. So I went and about midnight, I got up and head back to Kingston. So when I got back to Kingston, it was to pick up Shanice. So Zavon now must have called Shanice. So Daddy gone. She turned on, poor soul. I was ready by nearly 3 o'clock. I got back because the road was clear, so I did push it.
Yeah.
I said, Shanice, what are you doing? She said, Daddy, I put in the things in the car. I can't make a U-turn drive. This is Negril.
Yeah, for rest.
So she said, oh, Zavon told me that the came was coming in. I said, yes, but it's not to pick up at a U-turn. Put our stuff down and I went and I slept. So Odin was there, she was there. So the morning, I had a routine. Odin would take up the fruits. We had fruits for her every morning. Everything we hear that affect cancer. So they took it up to her while she was recuperating. And
so by this time, I got back the result?
No.
Okay. Still being analyzed
It was
overseas.
it was the same when they did the
Biopsy.
Yeah, they kept her for a little while. So when I came up, she said, babe, what are you doing here? I said, my wife in the hospital and I must be here. So Odin didn't come that morning. She expected Odin, but Odin will get there so early that she's sleeping. And the nurses allow him to put the fruits beside her. I waited until she awoke. I left the fruits in, but I waited and just sit in a chair and go and take a little push nap. By this time, Shanice now was with me. So we, spoke when she woke up at 12, and then I drove back now to Negril with Shanice and took the, what do you call it, the express? Knoxwood Express. Left the vehicle. Tell Shanice, they're going to Montego Bay. You have to carry my mom, you have Zavon, and the gentleman that we picked. And all they do is stay with the group so they don't last. But if anything, you can use your stuff, you're going to Montego Bay. Took the Knoxwood and come straight back to Kingston. Slept on the way most of the time, and then I took a taxi and went down because, unfortunately, my phone went dead, so I couldn't call Odin to pick me up. So when I got in, he said, Daddy, you never called me, and I explained to him. So I said, all right, this is how it's going to work now. You're going to leave and go to Montego Bay, down on Negril. And you're going to check in, and I gave him the stuff. So he went and checked in, because the room I already paid for, and I stayed. So I stayed now. He said him just going to go for a day, so that I could come back for Montego Bay to catch a piece of it. So I went and Joyce me again to say, why you not going? I said, baby, I can't be down here. We're a family, so Odin is going to meet the others because he doesn't have the child. He wasn't able to go to Negril.
Yeah.
I met that part. So God helped us. He went. So the morning now, I went straight to the hospital and they decided they're going to do a hysterectomy because they weren't pleased with what they saw. And they did it. And I left. After I left, I already stopped and went to Odin. The space that Odin had, I'm going to continue with it. So we didn't pay an extra. When I reached Montego Bay on the highway, I said, Odin going back to Kingston. So I blew him and flashed him and thing. Apparently he stayed just to eat maybe breakfast.
And then leave.
and then he left. So I went in and got my stuff and checked in replacement for him. And then he came and took that leg. So it was the following day now. We're coming back home, all of us. So when we got in, we recognized now that Joy was still up and strong, and she insisted to go to school. So she went back to school. It was confirmed in December 13th. We did an MRI.
And when you say school, for those who don't know,
She taught at St. George's Girls and Infant School
on Duke Street.
on Duke Street for over 37 years and
Wow.
some months.
Wow.
So she actually was on pre-maternity, what do you call it?
Retirement.
Pre-retirement, correct. So she got to work at Pentab. So she took up the offer. So I'd take her down in
That's
the morning.
the high school.
That's the high school. And she'd drive herself down, and I got to work to go home back. Till one day, we got a call from her niece that Joy missed an accident, like, wow. And she burst the tire because she's driving, but she's swerving over to the other side. And the girl screamed out, and she swing out back, hit the curb wall and burst the tire. Fortunately, help came and they changed the tire. So I got the call from her, so she burst the tire. So I said, well, I didn't know the nature of the burst still, So I said to her, where's the tire? She said, the man fit it back under the car. So I said, meet me at my office. So she drove right here. And she came. When she came, I went outside and took it. She said, slice the tire, slice. So I beat it. So I went and bought a tire. And I allowed her to go to Independence City not knowing. But when I got home, the niece called Shanice and said, Auntie, don't write. And explained, I said, oh my gosh. And I allowed her. I said, God was so good to safely take her over. So as of that day, she ceased from driving. So I do all the driving. Then she started to deteriorate because she insisted to go to feel good in the morning. And I got to work with her. And about 10:30, she just started feeling weak. So I was right there to just catch her and take her straight back home. I had to do that for about 2 weeks before she insists that she's not going out.
Stay home now.
Till she eventually was convinced that she's not making it. And of course, she opted not to take the operation because we're advised that the tumor was on the outside of the brain for them to operate on her and take the tumor out.
They got the result now.
Yeah, man.
What was the...
She had cancer from the womb.
From the womb?
Yeah. For the tumor to hit the brain, it would have spread all over. It was really going fast. So we took the decision that we're going to take her up if she want, to do the surgery. She said she's not doing it. I said, wow. However...
What stage cancer it was?
4.
Stage 4.
However, she got information that we didn't know about, I strongly believe, where the gynecologist told her that she needed to do radiation and what's the other one?
Chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy. That would affect the entire body rather than just the brain. You take out the tumor, it's going to grow back. So on that note, she was very equipped with the info. We learned after the fact, because of this thing that I thought was such a folly, that she had what you call patient rights. So you can't violate it as a doctor. You sign to it as a contract. Otherwise, you can lose your license. So she just deteriorated till Mother's Day. She started asking everybody to send for Zavon. We're going to have dinner as usual. But she said no. She wanted him.
But this is still 2018 now?
2019.
2019
now. It comes over to 19. May 13th. So sent for him and said, Daddy, I have to come. And I said, no, come early. So he came down early. So she was just having a routine. Then give her a massage early in the morning. Zavon must come and do the same thing. And Shani said, Daddy, let's go upstairs, go sleep. Now you've been going. So they took over, so to speak. So the evening, I said, Mommy gone into sleep. I said, no, man, I'm going to sleep too. Because when she sleep, I tried to sleep.
Yeah.
So I barricaded her so she couldn't try to come out of bed because she'd be weak. She tried to do it with a view to not let me, not getting any sleep. But Eventually, she slept away same night. You know, we took her to the hospital. When I woke up in about 3 o'clock in the morning, I noticed she on her back. She normally sleep on her side. So rush her, call them, and they said, no, 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 she could be going in a coma. Bring her, bring her. So I told Odin to drive and put her to stretch out in the station wagon there. And took her. When I got there, the guys were on the ball. They came out and they slide her out. Here, I said, listen, don't drop her. To get the injuries or anything, you know, to say, well, she's a foul player, you know, story. So they went in, and when we got there, she was having a heartbeat. About 42 minutes. She had the heartbeat, but it wasn't strong. But they kept watching it. Till eventually they got the flat line.
That was Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got the
What a
flat line.
day for your mother to pass away.
And
How did that affect you guys and how you manage
well, the children in
in the
general,
initial
yeah,
stages?
the children in general just went in a dead silence. Everybody come home and just go in the room and lock up. So I had to be there, you know, keep the ball rolling, keep the family alive. Things that we used to practice, we still do, you know. Told my family members of what was happening. And man, somebody said it was a convention at the church because the turnout was so
for the
overwhelming.
Thanksgiving service?
Yeah, man.
Because she was well loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
And
seemed like she was a very genuine person. And,
oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I think what happened, she had a lot of relationships that were not escalated. A particular brother came and said, boy, Brother Richards, you might don't know, you know. When I get my bulla, you know, there's a school bulla.
Yes, yes.
That when you have excess at the school,
Yeah.
it no waste.
Yes.
It reach people's desk. So him said sometime at work, them broke off piece and the manager come beg piece and they were all there, you know.
So you see all that outpouring of love and that day,
yes, man.
the
Yes.
lives that she touched.
Quite a bit, yeah. And then Odin has his fraternity with the athletes. And his coach, everybody came, and the top athletes were all there too. They went in the balcony and gave support.
2019.
Yeah, man. We all appreciated that big time. And persons that I've not seen for a long. I remember a guy, he had his appendix, I believe, taken out. So he couldn't take the steps. So I would walk up and down and go do this for him at primary school, you know. Man find himself at the funeral.
Wow.
And a guy who he videoed our wedding. It was like a big brother. I haven't seen him for a long time.
And he was there.
He had a funeral the same day in St. Elizabeth. And took his mom and him and come to the funeral just to show his face. And then took off to St. Elizabeth. I said, oh, wow, it was awesome. It was awesome. The support was over. One person said, I've never ever seen a funeral like that.
Yes.
At Pentab in that magnitude. The place ram overfilled, chairs pack out. You're
in
there.
The balcony. I was there.
Yes.
I just said that I remember I was in the balcony and it was the athlete Shelley and Fraser Price was right behind me.
Right behind you.
Yeah, that's where she sat and the balcony was filled, as they said.
Man, none of the athletes came out in full. Stephen Francis, the coach, was there as well. He came and gave support big time. Really appreciated that, you know. In fact, they came to the home too. One night I'm coming home from work here because the bosses here at a company, I offered my resignation. I said, no. You're still selling, is okay. Enjoy every moment. I'm still selling as the #1 salesman. I would come to work like 4:30 or sometime 4 o'clock and work till 8 and then leave, complete the task because I couldn't come to work in the morning.
Yeah.
But that I was a caregiver. And God was so good. I still was able to sell and still was able to meet my targets and still was healthy. When I knew I was sick, it was when my wife passed. They said that my body changed because of my short sleeping and cutting and wake up and cutting. So I would not sleep over 2.5 hours nightly. So sooner or later that would have hurt.
Effect on your body.
So they offered me to take drugs and I said, no, please, beg you, let me try. So I would run and do a lot of activities. And it started to improve, but it took long. All 2 years, I'm just getting 3 hours sleep. for the first time now, I'd wake up all 5 times for the night. That's crazy. So I do a little jump up. Until now, I am now not yet at 6. Somebody say I might not reach back there, but I was a sleeper, you know. I was a deadly sleeper. I remember I took my wife and friends at the church, quite a number, Ruthie, quite a number, and we drove to Mandy to a place they call Large Cottage. The kids were small. And when I got down there, it was so early. I said, well, I told the officer I was coming in late, 9 o'clock. So we got there about 7:05. I said, no, so we can't take a push now. And I went across to the bed. It was still a little dark. And lie down.
And when you jump up,
It's the night at 7 o'clock I jump up.
the whole day you sleep?
The whole day.
What?
No breakfast, no lunch, no dinner.
You're tired, man.
That's the point, you know. And I wake up, I said, Joy, where are you? She said, while you're asleep. I went and peep at you, you're gone.
Yeah.
10 hours and change, you know. I said, what?
We're
But
really
baby, I
tired.
gave my word.
That you can come in late.
Yeah, so, you know, it looked like a trick in the thing. So
Yeah.
I had a big apology the Monday, you know, as to what happened. I just tell them as it is, not but
Yeah.
the truth, and that's the truth.
Mhm.
And it happened again. Went to Newark, got picked up to go Jersey by my sister. Her kids are young. She said to me, Val, overlook our 2 young kids. I said, fine, that's no problem. She showed me the garage door, she showed me the kitchen, and she had a split level home. So at the front it looked like a 1-story, but at the back it's another story. Went in and doors. I was so embarrassed. She called the home, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12. Nobody answered. When I got up, I was shocked. Our little boy Aaron sat down just looking at me sleeping, and the other baby missing. So I said, what? But that baby was still in crib. I was so frightened, but you could cry. When I ran upstairs, I was so thankful the baby was sleeping. So I said, hi Aaron, I'm your uncle. My mom saw my ex, me introduced myself. I said, hey, you ate something? I'm taking him to the kitchen. I'm going to look after something. He ate him just looking at me. You know, I said, oh, let's go outside and see it. So we'll go outside and we look like we'll come inside back and thing. And then my sister called again. And I answered. She said, Bali, okay? I said, you went on the road? I said, no. I said, but I've been calling. She even called the neighbors. And they said, there's no activity over the house. I was so embarrassed.
All right, we're coming to a close. We have 2 more questions for you. Looking back over your life, what is probably one of the biggest mistakes you have ever made?
I suppose as a young child, I don't know if you call it mistakes, but it was just adventure. You know, I almost died, fell off a truck, knocked out unconscious, just laid in the middle road. The guy and I who hopped the truck, he fell off and grabbed my hand that pulled me away, and I fell out. The truck reached almost 100 odd meters down the road. And the sideman, I'm advised, tell the driver, say, little boy lie down in the road, not moving. And they reversed up and they said, where him live? And the point, by this time, the guy who dropped off first, him run gone in fright.
Yes.
And they took me to my home, the house wide open, I was all alone at home. And just put me on the bed and gone. That was like about, maybe, I don't know, 10 o'clock they gone.
You're how old that time?
9.
9 years old.
Knock out clean. My mom came home 6 o'clock the evening and see the place wide open, which is unusual. The dishes not washed up. The yard don't sweep up. She came and touched me on my foot and I woke up. I said, oh, mom, my head. She said, what happened? And I told her. So she went and get her because she didn't have a car. She got a ride and took me straight to the hospital, Uri. And some Chinese doctors were there and they gave me some acupuncture. But I was in pain. I mean, I couldn't speak to you like this. The pain. So they did an examination and I found that the brain shake, but didn't move.
Okay.
Neither did I burst anything.
Oh, so there was no wound?
No, I didn't. But a coca was there. I don't know if I still have it at the back of my head, but sometimes it was there. And I had to stay home for about 6 weeks. Because if they try, I could maybe go off. and all they prescribed was Panadol. So I was out of school. So that decision, obviously, at 9 was a bad one.
To hop that truck.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you didn't hop any more trucks from
No,
there.
but I used to hop it before, and it was no problem.
But that was the last day.
Yeah, he had, when he was going for home on it,
Yeah,
a
and
pothole,
throw you off.
and the guy dropping out, and I saw him grab and draw me out. I was spin. He fell on me that he could get up and drive off. Fortunately, it wasn't a very high truck. It was one of those that is on the lower side. Like, it was carried for juices, milk, and stuff like that. One of those milk trucks. That one I would never want to experience again.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had other issues too, where I was unconscious, knocked out clean again. I was at Excelsior, 11 years old. And came home hungry, must be Pepsi the evening. Oh my God. Said to my mom if I could take something. She said, boy, you can't tell me what to cook until you can push your foot underneath your own table. I'll never forget that. So I ended up tasting the shrimp and it poisoned me.
Oh God.
Knock out clean again. Went to drawing me out to a doctor's home. A man apparently was passing. She said he was a fireman. And I see him throw me over my shoulder and took me to the doctor. And they gave me an injection. They said, not very long, I don't think 5 minutes. And I said, I saw my eye open. And I see everybody around looking. And she said, Mom, this little boy here can't eat anything that is so and so. And I became a vegetarian instantly.
Just like that. Because of the shrimp.
Yeah. She said I couldn't eat tin food, anything that was stored too long. I couldn't eat overnight food. And nothing from the sea.
Oh.
Yeah.
As we close, I want you to leave a message for each of your kids. You know, sometimes you don't get to say everything that you'd want to say to them, but you're getting a chance now to put it on record to tell each of them what you probably some of the things you have never shared with them.
I'm going to answer it in this way. Because I was accosted by a good friend. He was like a mentor. He played for Jamaica. Jumping Harris looked at me and said, Val, how you not at the game, the match?
Yes.
O'Dane was keeping goal for Vaz. People don't know that. O'Dane was actually one of the champion goalkeepers. And he went to Mona in the finals. And the guy got her and cracked it. I was shocked. O'Dane dived and knocked it back out of the goal. And his other players were so astonished. They freeze and just looking. And a guy ran back and passed them and kicked it in the goal. And they lost 1-0. And they quarreled and ting. And of course I showed up. And when I showed up, everybody, because they must say, oh, they knocked it back and it go back into play. This is a kid, him never reached 11 yet or 10, must about 10. And he just took the common entrance, I believe, and he got the judge. It was a GSAT also, right? So when I turned up now and they saw everybody just dead quiet. Oh, is O'Dane father that? Dead quiet. So he did well for them. Unfortunately, the defenders poorly administered the fact that him stop it from in the goal. They should be the one running to get away. There was no on the ground. So he opted out of it and decided he wouldn't go continue. Then he tried it rugby, got a massive injury, burst his head, got stitches, took him to St. Joseph. Then he wanted to do what do you call it? The cartoon thing, the animation. So when we checked it, the animation was so costly. I told him I couldn't even see the money with the binoculars. There was so much money. So the only thing we could get is a scholarship. So how you get that, Daddy? I said, well, you could try a sport, or you could academically get it by high grades. And then he met a teacher who actually got a scholarship as a shot putter. So then went and tried and apparently got gained at school and then end up at champs. He didn't even tell me he was participating. I'm saying I'm going champs. I thought he was going to watch.
So that story sounds similar back when you went to champs and you didn't really let your sisters know one thing and you said, no, my brother that.
Well, boy, look at the genes was strong, you know. It's interesting that he pick up that. So he opted out of football. Now, Harris said to me as a coach, but if you're saying, man, the guy good in him, can this, him, can that. I never ever try to push them in my footprints.
Yes.
A lot of people do it with their kids, but for me, it was for their own footprint that they developed. They did. Anyway, they go, I just supported it. Even when I'm in disagreement.
Yes.
A lot of times I'm in disagreement.
But they allow them to forge their own path.
Yes. So 3 o'clock in the morning to prepare a meal for him every day. That was deadly, man. But it was done with his sister now. And the others, the same thing. Devon came with his story and we supported him. He had some little situation that happened and we backed him up. Shanice, pretty much wanted to do stuff, supported her. And she went her lawn tennis route. So I have always said they have to push for their education and their personal development. So Zavon took it a notch more and went and did his master's. And he's now working at one of those banks. And Odin still doing his try for the professional athlete. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but he's pushing. So they had a season best so far. And of course, Shani is pursuing her career with one of these big companies in the country, so to speak. So we are there just to give the support. Of course, there are some things I would have hoped that would have been achieved in terms of their participation in studying the word, so to speak, that they don't become parcel and parcel of what I say or what they have read. Because some of the books that I've written has actually shared it with all of them and we have discussion on it. And we have one right now that we're talking about it as we speak. It is already written. So the hope, as I said, when it is all said and done, the walk with the Lord is paramount. Never depart. Yes. And that's the hope. That's a strong hope.
That's strong hope.
And we share that each time at their birthday. And they're all in their high 20s and mid 30s. So it speaks how much years they've been told the same thing.
Yes.
So to speak, yes. So that's where it's at, where I am concerned.
For them.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Our little chat with Mr. Neville Valentine Richards. He shared his journey with us. I would just like to thank him for spending the time, and I hope you guys can learn a thing or two from his experiences based on all the stories that he shared. So until next time, when we join you again with another interesting person we'll be speaking with, I'm just going to ask you to keep safe.